All right, we're going to be talking laws of motion, lesson two, which is going to be Newton's first law. So, some of the key concepts you're going to learn. Obviously, what is Newton's first law of motion? He has three main ones. We're going to focus on the first one today. We're going to talk about how motion is related to balanced and unbalanced forces. And then finally, we're going to talk about the effect inertia has on the motion of an object. All right, so let's look at some of the key vocab words you're going to be learning today. We're going to talk about net force, we're going to talk about balanced forces, unbalanced forces, and of course, Newton's first law of motion, and finally, inertia. Just like every other presentation, pause, write down the information you need, rewind to get further clarification. Okay, don't be afraid to ask me any questions after you've watched the whole presentation. And at the end, go ahead and take that practice quiz on the side here on Sophia. So, first vocab word you have here is net force.
Net force. The combination of all the forces acting on an object.
Okay, so net force depends on the direction the force is applied on an object. Like if I get pushed this way, my net force is to the direction that my head moved. If somebody pushes you on a cart or somebody pushes me on my wheelie chair, they're putting a force behind me, pushing me in that direction. Okay? Now, because forces have a direction, you have to specify the reference direction when you add forces. Is it to the left? Is it to the right? Is it up or down? Okay? Gravity pulls you down, so the force is pulling downward. Okay? Now, a force moving in the reference direction is positive, and the force in the opposite direction is negative. So let's think about this. Say I'm pushing with a force of 200 newtons, okay? And another person comes, because I can't push, let's say, like a refrigerator, and I need to move it, but I'm not strong enough. I have somebody else come help me. They push with 100 newtons of force. That's a total of 300 newtons to the right, just like on these arrows. So when a force is applied to an object acting the same direction, the net force is adding them both together, okay? And that's apparent when two people push something in the same way. Now, when forces act in opposite directions on an object, the net force is still the sum of all the forces. This happens when you have a positive and negative. I know in math you've added positive and negatives together. So let's look at this scenario this time. If somebody is pushing with 200 newtons one way, but someone is counteracting with 100 newtons the opposite way, well, what's 200 plus a negative 100? It's like 200 minus 100. So you end up having 100 newtons. Now, if you have 200 newtons pushing to the right and 100 newtons going the opposite direction to the left, well, it kind of cuts out a little bit, but you still have a positive direction. So it's still 100 newtons to the right, just like the arrows are showing you. Now, your next word is
balanced forces. Forces acting on an object that combine and form a net force of 0.
Okay, so pause, write this down. Now, balanced forces keep things in place, okay? Well, I'm walking around or I'm sitting here because I'm balancing. Gravity's pulling me down, but there's a normal force pushing me back up from my chair. That's why I'm not falling to the ground. That's why you're able to walk, because you have balanced forces. Gravity pulls you to the left and to the right evenly, allowing you to stand straight up, okay? I can have something balanced, like this bear in my hand. It's a very cute bear, but it's balanced. Now, if it kind of loses some balance, if I take a little bit like this, what happens? It falls. Why? Because the forces weren't balanced anymore, and this becomes our next word.
Unbalanced forces. Forces acting on an object that combine and form a net force that is not 0.
Now let's look at this scenario on the bottom here. You have 200 newtons going to the right and 200 newtons going to the left. Now if you have equal pushing, the thing's not going to move, whether you're pushing a table or a chair. If one person's pushing with 200 newtons this way, one person pushes 200 this way, it just stays in place. You have a balanced force. Now, a positive 200 plus a negative 200, well, they cancel each other out. You get a net force of 0. The object doesn't move, whether it's a table or a cart or anything. Now let's look at this next one.
Newton's first law of motion. Law that states that if the net force acting on an object is zero, the motion of the object does not change.
So to sum it up, an object at zero, the object at rest will stay at rest. An object in motion will stay in motion and continue moving in a straight line at a constant speed. So you've heard that before. An object at rest stays at rest. An object in motion stays in motion until an outside force stops it. Okay, so you could write this down in your words, combination of what the computer has said, combination of what I've said. But again, an object at rest stays in rest. An object in motion stays in motion until an outside force stops it. So if I take the teddy bear again and I whip it across the room, it will keep flying forever in a straight line until an outside force acts on it. Now think about what made the bear stop flying. Fluid friction from the air, gravity. Those are just a couple of things that started to pull the bear down. Now if I was out in space and I threw that bear, there's no air resistance or fluid friction. There's no really gravity to speak of other than the very small amount. So that bear would keep going and going. So as a result, balanced forces and unbalanced forces have different results when they act on an object. Okay, there was an unbalanced force of gravity and fluid friction causing the bear to fall. So, what is Newton's first law of motion? Think of it in your head right now. Could you say it out loud? Well, don't say it out loud, but think of it. An object at rest stays at rest, and an object in motion stays in motion until an outside force causes that to change. Now, balanced forces acting on an object do not change the object's speed or direction. Newton's first law of motion only applies to balanced forces acting on an object. Okay? When it's balanced, it's just going to keep going and going. When it's unbalanced, it'll stay. When an unbalanced force acts on an object, it changes its velocity. So right now, I'm balanced. If my chair came from under me, I would be unbalanced and I would fall to the ground. My velocity would change. I would fall downward. So, how is motion related to balanced and unbalanced forces? Balanced forces, again, keep you at a constant speed. Right now I'm moving at 0 meters per second. If for some reason this chair in my house went from under me, I would start falling downward. So I would change my velocity. I would probably fall about 9.8 meters per second because of gravity. Now, here's your next word.
Inertia. The tendency of an object to resist a change in motion.
Okay. The bigger the object is, the more inertia it has. You've probably heard that before. Remember Bill Nye, inertia is a property of matter. So, the bigger the matter is, the more inertia it has. Okay? Think about this. If you and I were running, and I'm a pretty big guy compared to most of the students. Now, if you had to tackle me or, let's say, a smaller student, who would you want to try to tackle? I mean, would you be able to if it was like playing football? You'd be able to tackle the smaller student because they have less inertia. It would be harder to stop me. Now, inertia, it comes from the Latin word iners, which means without skill, inactive, which, that's fun. So, how does inertia affect the motion of an object? Well, the more larger the object is, the more inertia it has, the harder it is to stop. Let's say there was a tennis ball rolling down a hill and a boulder, okay? The boulder has more inertia, so it's going to be harder to stop, while the tennis ball is going to be easier to stop. At the same time, the inertia in the large boulder is going to be harder to get rolling. Inertia makes things just want to do what they're doing. It doesn't want to change it. So I'm sitting here, and I just want to sit here. Okay, if there was a little person sitting on the chair, someone a lot smaller than me, they want to sit there too, but it's easier to get them rolling around. Okay, try to think about it like if you wanted to roll me around in this chair and you had to roll another little student around. Okay, it'd be a lot easier to roll them around than me because I want to stay sitting here because I have more inertia. So, why do objects stop moving? Well, for an object to start moving, a force greater than static friction, remember static friction, that word came back up, must be applied to it. So to get me to move, I had to use more force than the static friction which held me in place. To keep an object in motion, a force at least as strong as friction must be applied continuously. So to keep me rolling around, I have to have some kind of force pushing me to overcome friction. Objects stop moving because friction or another force acts on them. Remember when I threw the teddy bear? The fluid friction of air resistance, in addition to gravity, stopped them from rolling. So let's summarize this. This is what you need to write on the back of your sheet. Unbalanced forces cause an object to move. Okay, so again, I'm here. If my chair went from under me, I would fall down because an unbalanced force happened. If you're walking in the hallway really fast to science class because you know it's really important, but somebody bumps into you, you might lose your balance because an unbalanced force caused you to move in a different direction. Again, according to Newton's first law of motion, if the net force on an object is zero, the object's velocity doesn't change. An object at rest stays at rest, an object in motion stays in motion. And finally, inertia is a property that resists change in the motion of an object. Inertia causes things to want to keep doing whatever they're doing, whether it's sitting still or already moving. Think about this. NFL football players are running really fast. They want to keep going. It's hard to stop them, especially AP. Now, I want you to try to think what would be the right answer. Which refers to forces that combine and form a net force that is not zero? Pause, think about it. Which one do you think it is? If you said unbalanced forces, you are correct. Next practice question. Which could cause an object to stop moving? Friction can stop things. Inertia just keeps you wanting to keep going. Unbalanced forces, again, causes you to move. And velocity is you actually moving. When equal forces act on an object in opposite directions, what is the net force on the object? Remember, one's pushing one way, one's pushing the same way, opposite way, the same force. What happens? It goes zero. They get balanced, okay? They're balanced. So what do you think? Forces acting on an object cannot be added. You can add force. If I need your help to push let's say, computer cart one day, I'm pushing it with a force, you can add more force and help me. A moving object will stop if no forces act on it. No, an object in motion stays in motion. Okay, so it's going to keep going and going until something happens to it, whether it is gravity or fluid friction. Something has to stop it. Okay, now we can practice this. I'll throw, oh sorry about my computer, I can throw this little duck sauce packet across the room and eventually it'll stop because an outside force of gravity and the air resistance will stop it. But if we're out floating in space, what is going to happen? It's going to keep going and going and going. If you've seen the movie Gravity, I believe, which I don't really recommend, but if you had to watch it, there's a couple of scenes where the person ends up getting floating and it keeps going faster and faster in a straight line. There was a Vsauce that said what happens if the sun disappeared, and it talked about the earth would just keep going in a straight line because Newton's first law. Well, I hope you guys got something out of this. Hope you got all your vocabulary down. If you need to rewind, watch the video again. If you have any questions, I'd like you to write them down. Come ask me if you have a question so we can get any further clarification. Take the practice quiz on the side, and good luck.